Welcome to History with Herodotus, where the boundaries of time and space are bridged by the power of storytelling and the pursuit of knowledge. Today, we embark on a fascinating journey to explore one of the most pivotal events in medieval history, the Norman conquest of Sicily. This captivating tale of adventure, politics, and cultural transformation will transport us to the sun-kissed shores of the Mediterranean, where the destinies of empires and the fate of civilizations were forever entwined. As we set out on this journey, imagine yourself standing on the windswept coast of Sicily, feeling the warm breeze carry the scent of citrus and olive groves. The year is 584, and the island is a prized possession of the Byzantine Empire, its strategic location at the crossroads of the Mediterranean making it a coveted treasure for ambitious invaders from northern Europe. The weakening grip of Byzantium on its territories has created a power vacuum that will soon attract the attention of skilled warriors and cunning politicians, among them the Normans. To understand the Norman conquest of Sicily, we must first delve into the background of its key players. The Normans were descendants of Viking settlers who had established themselves in Normandy, a region in northern France. Over time, they assimilated with the local population, adopting their language and customs while retaining their martial prowess and seafaring skills. One of the most influential Norman leaders was Robert Guiscard, a member of the Hauteville family, whose name would become synonymous with bravery, strategic genius, and unwavering ambition. The Normans were not merely brutal warriors, they were also masters of diplomacy, forging complex relationships with local lords, bishops, and even the Holy Roman Emperor. Guiscard's rise to prominence began in the 1050s when he arrived in southern Italy with a small band of followers. This region, known as Apulia, was then a hotbed of conflict between the Byzantine Empire, the Holy Roman Empire, and various local lords. Imagine the rugged landscape of Apulia, where fortified castles stood like sentinels amidst rolling hills and vast plains. Guiscard's military victories and shrewd alliances quickly earned him recognition and territory, laying the groundwork for what would become a Norman kingdom in southern Italy. His conquests were not merely driven by a lust for power, they were also motivated by a desire to create a stable and prosperous realm where his people could thrive. As Guiscard's power grew, so did his vision for expansion. He set his sights on Sicily, an island of immense strategic importance due to its location and agricultural wealth. The island was then divided between Muslim rulers who had conquered it from the Byzantines in the 9th century and the remaining Byzantine strongholds. This complex political landscape presented both challenges and opportunities for Guiscard, who began to forge alliances with local Christian leaders dissatisfied with Muslim rule. Let us consider the cultural and religious dynamics at play on the island of Sicily during this period. The Muslim rulers had introduced their own distinct culture, language, and customs, which blended with the existing Byzantine and Christian traditions. The result was a rich tapestry of cultural exchange, where mosques stood alongside churches and Arabic script adorned the walls of palaces. Guiscard's conquest would disrupt this delicate balance, leading to a fascinating fusion of Norman, Christian, and Islamic influences. With Robert Guiscard at the helm, the Normans are poised to embark on a conquest that will not only reshape the political map of the Mediterranean, but also leave an indelible mark on the cultural and religious landscape of Sicily. The fusion of Norman military might with the island's rich heritage will give birth to a unique society, where elements of Christianity, Islam, and Byzantine culture will intertwine in complex and fascinating ways. It is a story that reminds us, as we navigate our own complex world, of the profound impact that individual leaders, strategic alliances, and the pursuit of power can have on the destiny of nations and civilizations. As the Normans set their sights on Sicily, they began to assemble a formidable army comprising not only seasoned warriors but also skilled engineers, architects, and administrators. The year was 1061. And Robert Guiscard's brother, Roger Boso, had already begun to make inroads into the island, capturing key towns and forging alliances with local Christian leaders. One such leader was a certain Nicodemus, a Byzantine noble who would prove instrumental in facilitating the Norman conquest. The Normans' military campaign began in earnest on July 15, owned 61, when Roger Bosso laid siege to the strategic town of Messina, located on the northeastern coast of Sicily. The town's defenses were formidable, with thick walls and a heavily fortified citadel, but the Normans were undeterred. They employed innovative tactics, including the use of catapults and other siege engines, which allowed them to breach the walls and capture the town after a grueling 6-week siege. As I transport you back in time, imagine the sounds of clashing steel, the scent of smoke and sweat, and the cries of the besieged townsfolk. The Normans' determination was palpable, their resolve fueled by the promise of conquest and the lure of riches. With Messina in their possession, they turned their attention to the island's capital, Palermo. The city was a thriving metropolis with a rich cultural heritage and a diverse population of Muslims, Christians, and Jews. The Norman army, now reinforced by Guiscard himself, laid siege to the city on January 5, 1072. The siege would last for 5 long months, during which time the Normans employed every tactic in their arsenal to wear down the defenders. They constructed elaborate siege engines, including towering catapults and battering rams, which pounded against the city walls with relentless ferocity. As the days turned into weeks, the defenders grew weary, their supplies dwindling and their spirits sagging. The Normans, however, remained resolute, driven by Guiscard's unwavering vision of a unified Sicily under Norman rule. On February 10, 1072, a group of Norman soldiers discovered a weak point in the city's defenses, a small gate that had been left unguarded. Under cover of darkness, they slipped into the city and opened the gates, allowing their comrades to pour inside. The defenders, taken by surprise, were quickly overwhelmed, and Palermo fell to the Normans on February 10, 1072. As the dust settled, Guiscard stood victorious, his reputation as a brilliant military strategist cemented. He would go on to rule Sicily for over 3 decades, implementing a series of reforms that would transform the island into a thriving, multicultural society. The fusion of Norman, Christian, and Islamic influences would give birth to a unique culture, one that would leave an indelible mark on the Mediterranean world. Guiscard's vision was not limited to conquest. He sought to create a new society where people from different backgrounds could live together in harmony. As he himself once said, "I have not come to destroy, but to build, not to conquer, but to create." These words would become the guiding principle of his reign as he worked tirelessly to forge a new society, one that would endure for centuries to come. In the years that followed, Guiscard faced numerous challenges, from rebellions by discontented nobles to external threats from rival powers. Yet, through it all, he remained steadfast in his commitment to his vision of a united, prosperous Sicily. The conquest of Sicily was far from over, however. Many towns and cities still remained under Muslim control, and it would take years of campaigning to bring them under Norman rule. One such town was Trapani, located on the western coast of the island. The town's defenders, led by a fierce warrior named Ibn Abbas, put up a valiant fight but ultimately succumbed to the Normans in 1077. As the Normans continued their campaign, they encountered numerous challenges, from treacherous terrain to hostile local populations. The island's complex geography, with its rugged mountains and fertile valleys, would prove a formidable obstacle, but the Normans were undaunted. In 1085, Guiscard launched a major campaign against the last remaining Muslim strongholds on the island. The campaign was marked by numerous skirmishes and battles, as the Normans sought to wear down their opponents through a combination of military force and diplomacy. One notable victory came at the town of Syracuse, which fell to the Normans after a grueling siege. As the years passed, Sicily began to take shape as a unified, Norman-dominated state. Guiscard's vision of a multicultural society was slowly becoming a reality, as Christians, Muslims, and Jews lived and worked together in a spirit of relative harmony. The island's economy flourished, driven by trade and agriculture, and its culture became renowned throughout the Mediterranean. The Normans brought their own unique architectural style, blending Romanesque and Islamic influences to create stunning buildings that still stand today. They also introduced new agricultural practices, such as the use of irrigation systems, which allowed the island's fertile soil to produce bountiful harvests. Despite these successes, however, challenges remained. The Normans faced opposition from rival powers, including the Holy Roman Empire and the Byzantine Empire, which sought to undermine their authority on the island. Guiscard would need all his cunning and strategic genius to navigate these treacherous waters and secure Sicily's future as a Norman stronghold. It is a tale of vision, perseverance, and the unyielding pursuit of greatness. As the renowned leader Robert Guiscard stood at the helm of this endeavor, his dream of a unified, multicultural society began to take shape, like a masterpiece unfolding on the canvas of history. As we delve deeper into this captivating narrative, let us transport ourselves to the sun-kissed landscapes of Sicily, where the warm breeze carries the whispers of the past. The year is 191, and Guiscard's campaign against Malta has reached its climax. The island, with its strategic location and rich resources, was a prized gem in the Norman crown. After a brief yet intense siege, Malta fell to the Normans, marking the final major conquest of their campaign in Sicily. With this triumph, Guiscard's attention turned to consolidating his gains and securing his legacy. He established a strong, centralized government with a powerful bureaucracy and a robust system of justice. This wise and far-sighted approach would become the hallmark of Norman rule, allowing Sicily to flourish like a garden nourished by the wisdom of its rulers. However, as with all great endeavors, challenges arose to test Guiscard's mettle. His son, Bohemond, a fiery and ambitious young nobleman, would soon rebel against his father's authority. This tumultuous chapter in their relationship would ultimately lead Bohemond to play a pivotal role in the First Crusade, a testament to the complex and often fraught nature of human ambition. Despite these trials, Guiscard remained steadfast in his commitment to his vision for Sicily. He continued to work tirelessly, driven by an unwavering dedication to building a prosperous, harmonious society. One notable example of his wisdom and foresight can be seen in his approach to the island's Muslim population. Rather than seeking to suppress or expel them, he chose to integrate them into Norman society, recognizing the valuable contributions they could make to the island's economy and culture. As Guiscard once said, the strength of a kingdom lies not in the uniformity of its people, but in their diversity. These words, dear listeners, echo through the corridors of time, reminding us that true greatness is often born from the rich tapestry of human experience. By embracing the diversity of Sicily's population, Guiscard created a vibrant cultural mosaic where scholars, merchants, and travelers from across the Mediterranean could come together to share their knowledge, traditions, and ideas. The Normans brought their own unique architectural style to Sicily, blending Romanesque and Islamic influences to create stunning buildings that still stand today. The cathedrals of Palermo and Monreale, with their intricate stone carvings and majestic domes, are testaments to the enduring legacy of Norman rule. These structures, dear listeners, are more than mere monuments to a bygone era. They are gateways to a deeper understanding of the cultural exchange and cooperation that defined this remarkable period in history. The island became a beacon of tolerance and cultural exchange, attracting scholars, merchants, and travelers from across the Mediterranean. We see the descendants of those Muslim, Christian, and Jewish communities that Guiscard so wisely integrated into his society. We hear the languages, the music, and the stories that have been passed down through generations, a testament to the enduring power of cultural exchange. The Norman conquest of Sicily also had a lasting impact on the broader Mediterranean world. It marked the beginning of a new era of cooperation and understanding, as people from different faiths and backgrounds came together to build a more harmonious, prosperous society. As we navigate the complexities of our own time, we would do well to remember the lessons of this remarkable chapter in history. Let us remember that even in the darkest of times, there is always the potential for greatness, for building something new and beautiful from the ashes of conflict and division. Remember, to understand the present, we must first understand the past. That's all for today's History with Herodotus. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. And until next time, remember that to understand the present, we must first understand the past.